Dear students, welcome to Biology online revision classes. So, in the previous week, we were revising chapter the molecular basis of inheritance. That we have discussed various questions. We have seen various multiple choice questions, case based questions, and assertion reason type questions, isn't it? So, your question paper will have three parts: A, B, and C. A will be having only the multiple choice questions, and B will have some assertion reason type questions also. Assertion reason means two statements will be given there. Okay, one is the assertion and the second is assertion reason. Okay, assertion and reason, and there will be four options: A, B, C, and D. Okay, so you will have to select A, B, C, or D by reading the assertion and reason statements carefully. Okay, so the first option A will be if assertion and reason are correct, if that two sentences are correct, and if reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Okay, and B is the assertion and reason are true. The sentences are true, but assertion won't be the what the reason, or it won't be the correct explanation of the reason. So then you will have to select B. Okay. Then C, if assertion is true and reason is false, then it is what option C. And the last one is assertion is false and reason is true. Likewise, different what by reading the statements. First, you have to identify which kind it is, and on that basis, you have to select the option. Understood? So this is the what assertion reason type question. And C, along with that, there will be some more MCQs. Okay, in B section. And C part or C section will have what one case based question, one diagram will be given, or some paragraph will be given, and based on that your previous knowledge also can be selected, means judged. Okay, questions will be asked based on that, and along with that some MCQs other than this case based also will be there. So this is your pattern of question. Okay, so let's continue this chapter, that is principles of inheritance and variation. So the important points let's recollect, and after that I'll be sending the what question revision questions. Okay, so in this chapter, do you remember what we learned? We learned about Mendel's laws of inheritance, isn't it? And we learned that the experimental material that he used was Pisum sativum, isn't it? Pisum sativum or garden pea. Okay, and while writing, CP is capital and S is small. Understood? Pisum sativum. And if you are writing, you will have to underline this separately. Okay, and then he selected what? Seven traits. We remember, isn't it? We studied this. That is, true breeding varieties he has taken. Means true breeding means the plants will be homozygous for that particular trait. Okay, so seven characters he has selected. So what are the characters he selected? Stem height, flower color, seed shape, pod color, pod shape, flower position. Okay, so these are the seven characters he took. So what are they? Stem height, flower color, seed shape, pod shape, and flower position. Okay, and you see these all are having alternative traits. What are they? Stem height, tall and dwarf. Flower color, purple and white. You see which are dominant characters and which are recessive character. That is also very important to know. Okay, then seed color yellow. Okay, and seed that recessive characters green. Okay, then purple or violet you can see, okay, say, okay, flower color, okay. Then seed shape round and wrinkled. Pod color green. Pod color dominant is green and recessive character is yellow, but seed color dominant character is yellow and recessive character is green, okay. Pod shape inflated and then constricted. Inflated is usually found, okay, dominant one, and constricted is recessive. Flower position. Flower position is axillary and terminal, okay. So you have to very much clearly know that which is dominant character and which is recessive character, okay. Then like this, first he studied individually, isn't it? So that is known as what? A monohybrid cross, isn't it? And how he did? He had made sure that each of these varieties are true breeding. By how he made the plants true breeding or homozygous, how he ensured? By making them to self pollinate for many generations, okay. So that he made it clear that all the plants he selected will be true breeding, okay. Then when he studied the inheritance patterns or pattern of one character with its alternative trait, then it is known as what? Mono hybrid cross. So then he took two characters at a time, okay, to study the inheritance patterns of two traits simultaneously. That is known as what? Dihybrid cross, okay. So yellow round seeds and green wrinkled seeds he took, and he done the experiment, okay. Then he could see that in F1 generation all the plants were what showing the dominant character, okay. And in the second generation what he did, he self pollinated the plants, and he could see that the plants were produced in the ratio 9:3:3:1. In monohybrid, what is the phenotypic ratio? 3:1. And what is the genotypic ratio? 1:2:1. Okay, but here you see the what new types. Okay, new types of plants like yellow wrinkled and green round plants were produced that were not there in the parents, understood. So he got new recombinants also, and then what he got, okay, the ratio in the form of 9:3:3:1 ratio. So after his experiments, monohybrid and dihybrid experiment, he could put forward three laws: law of dominance, law of segregation, and law of independent assortment, okay. So according to law of dominance, if the alleles are different, isn't it, or in F1 generation, okay, only in F1 generation the alleles are different, isn't it? They are heterozygous, and in that condition only one allele is able to express and the other will be suppressed. And law of segregation says that what, even though the alleles are existing as pairs in the individual, but during gamete formation they move separately to different gametes, okay. Then law of independent assortment says that what the alleles of a pair, okay, they independently assort, okay, with the other pair in the what gamete formation, isn't it? So like this law of three laws he put forward after his experiment in the pea plant. Then we have studied some deviations from Mendel's laws, isn't it? Like incomplete dominance, where what happened here, as we expect, the F1 generation is not resembling any of the parent, but it will be an intermediate of the two parents, okay. So this we have studied in which flower? In dog flower or snapdragon, okay. Then there are red flowered, when we grows red flowered plants with white flowered plants, okay, we could see that in the F1 generation we got what? Pink colored flowers, okay, instead of red. So, and in the F2 generation we can see that the plants are produced in the ratio 1:2:1, that is, actually the deviation from Mendel's law. Then we have studied about multiple allelism and codominance. Okay, multiple allelism means what? Here, we can see that there are more than two alleles in a population to control a character. Usually, according to Mendel, what he said, there are two alleles to control each character, isn't it? But multiple allelism says that more than two alleles can control one character. Understood? So like that, human blood group is an example of multiple allelism. Okay, there are three allelic forms: I, A, IB, and I or IU. Okay, so these three alleles are there to control the character. So this is known as what? Multiple allelism. And another phenomenon is codominance. Codominance is that we have learned that dominance, isn't it? If in heterozygous condition, if the genotype is heterozygous, then only one of the allele is able to express and the other will be suppressed. But in codominance, both the alleles, okay, they'll be able to express by itself. Okay, human blood group is an example for codominance also, because AB blood group, okay, is produced when IA and IB are there. Okay, IA, IB are equally dominant, so they produce both the glycoproteins A and B. So the blood group will be AB. Okay, so human blood group is an example for multiple allelism because there are three alleles. Okay, and then it's an example for codominance as IA and IB are equally what dominant. Then the A, okay, or IO comes, then A only will be the blood group. IA only can express. So it's an example for law of dominance also. It's an example for multiple allelism, law of dominance, and co-dominance. Clear? Then we have studied about linkage and recombinations. So linkage means what? According to Mendel said that the genes, they independently assort with respect to the other pair. Okay, there is no rule that if capital T and what capital R or any other, okay, the round the gene which is determining the roundness or shape of the seed and tallness, if they are together in parent, okay, while formation of gametes they can go differently, okay, independent of the other pair. But it is observed that the genes which are located on the same chromosomes, okay, their tendency to go together is more than what the genes they are located apart. Okay, when two genes in a dihybrid cross are located on the same chromosome, the proportion of parental gene combination, okay, in the progeny will be much higher than the non-parental or new combinations. Understood? So this is known as what? Linkage. That is their ability, the tendency of the genes located in the same chromosomes to get inherited together. Okay, and this will be more when the genes are placed what? Very close to each other. Understood? So this is linkage. And recombination means if their tendency to get separated. Okay, the proportion of recombinance varies even if the two genes are present on the chromosomes, same chromosomes. Understood? And another the deviation that we learned are the polygenic inheritance, means many genes inheriting or many genes which control the same character. So according to Mendel, there are only two alleles of the same gene, or there are only one gene that controls one character, and that can have different forms that are known as what? Alleles. But polygenic inheritance, what it says? It says that if some characters, okay, they can be controlled by more than one gene. That's what it is known as polygenic inheritance. Okay, and examples for this is human skin color, height, intelligence, okay, etc. are examples of polygenic inheritance. Okay, and polygenic inheritance also can be influenced by the environment. Okay, so in human skin color there are three different genes: A, B and C. Okay, so depends upon the number of this dominant alleles. Okay, the color or the skin color varies as the number of dominant alleles are more. For example, the capital A, capital A, capital B, capital B, capital C, capital C. Okay, if in that case, then you can see that the darkness of the skin will be more, and as the number of dominant alleles decreases, the skin color also differs. So what is the difference between multiple allelism and polygenic inheritance? Multiple allelism means here it says about more than two alleles controlling the same character, but in a person there can be only two alleles as we are diploid organisms. We learned that in case of blood group, human blood group IA, IB and IO. Okay, but in polygenic inheritance, what it says that there are more than one genes. Okay, one genes which control the character. Okay, so that are the difference between what the multiple allelism and the polygenic inheritance. Hope this much is very clear to you. We'll continue in the next class. Thank you.